Hi everyone. I've been meaning to make a video on this over the past week or so, but obviously I haven't. But watching Napalm's video about the RP twins, as he called them, Rick Perry and Ron Paul, it's given me the kick up the backside I needed to make this video. I mean, I could make one about Rick Perry, but I want to primarily focus on Ron Paul. I just do not get the level of enthusiasm that is being put towards this guy. I mean, has it gotten so bad in American politics that the second one guy comes out with a different stance on things, that people have to attach themselves to him without even looking at their other beliefs? The Amazing Atheist was right. It is the cult of Ron Paul. He seemed to have these fanatical followers that'll it's almost like a religion to them, that no matter what he does, no matter what he says, even if it's a mistake, they'll twist the words and twist what they think he means into what they want it to mean. Yes, he does have some better ideas than the other Republican nominees. He wants to get out of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He wants to bring down thousands of troops that are currently occupying countries such as Germany and South Korea. And he also wants to end the war on drugs. I mean, these things are the kind of policies that I can get on board with. Although saying that he has some better ideas than the current Republican crop of nominees isn't really hard, given the cookie cutter positions the rest of them take. Which is it's great for him, really, because when everyone else, almost to a fault, has exactly the same positions, then it only makes him stand out more. Of course, some of the policies he has pretty much guarantee that he's never going to be elected. It would be a shame if he wasn't just a complete loon. Even though I do agree on him on some things, which I just explained, I could never ever vote for Ron Paul. People may want to vote on him just for one or two issues that he's currently advocating, but when you take into account all of the other things that he believes and that he may enact if he was president, then I can't help but look at these things and be terrified. Come on, people, is it worth supporting this guy for the few things he's right about when he has all these other crazy ideas? He would completely stop all foreign aid. Okay, that makes you an automatic scumbag, in my opinion. Believe it or not, there are countries that are doing a lot worse out there than America. And to take away vital resources and goods from these war-torn, poverty-stricken countries is a complete dick move. And even if it was for budgetary reasons or something, the foreign aid is such a minutely small percentage of the GDP of America that it will absolutely make no difference whatsoever. Ron Paul may hate big government and want to stop interfering with other countries, but when it does as much good as foreign aid does, then I can only see him as a douchebag. He's pro-life, but that is not why I'm talking about this here. For a Republican, that doesn't even bat an eyelid nowadays. But for someone that is constantly talking about how the government is too big and it infringes on people's lives too much, it's especially hypocritical. He even says on his own website that he would repeal Roe v. Wade and prevent activist judges from interfering with state decisions on life by removing abortion from federal court jurisdiction. So Mr. Libertarian wants people to live their lives and to eat, drink, smoke and snort whatever you want because the government can't tell you what you can or can't do with your body. But as soon as a woman gets pregnant, then what? I'm sorry, but the small limited government has to step in and tell you exactly what to do. He also wants to go back to the gold standard, which, if you don't know what that means, is basically a monetary system where the unit of account is a certain amount of gold. Yeah, let's base our entire economy on a precious metal that's been produced by other people. Yeah, let's have other companies dictate to us our monetary policy, or else, we don't get any fucking gold. Yeah, that's a real good idea. He's completely opposed to the separation of church and state. He introduced a bill in 2005 which would have removed any claim involving the laws, regulations or policies of any state or unit of local government relating to the free exercise or establishment of religion from the jurisdiction of federal courts. And I can only imagine that his positions haven't changed, because I haven't found anything to the contrary. Now that sounds pretty scary to me. That sounds like suppressing religion or irreligion that he doesn't like. That sounds like encroaching power of religion into the government, as if it weren't a big enough part already. Still think he's a great guy? He wants to restrict the federal government to what he thinks are constitutionally authorised functions. He apparently thinks that nothing has changed since 1787 when the Constitution was adopted, so anything not specifically addressed in the Constitution is against what the founders would have wanted. This is one of the problems I see with having a constitution, going back to my video about whether the UK should adopt one. Maybe not now, but in the future, like we see with Ron Paul and the US Constitution. People like this see the Constitution as some sort of sacred document that must be adhered to almost religiously, and anything that doesn't appear in its hallowed pages, regardless of whether or not a certain cause or worry existed back when the Constitution was written, is wasteful and should be gotten rid of. He wants to reduce the size of the government to such a small level that it won't be able to do anything and won't be able to help if an emergency happens, whether in its own borders or elsewhere in the world. He doesn't trust the government to do a good job of things, but trusts massive multinational corporations to regulate themselves. That's just mind-blowingly stupid. You need a middle guy in these situations, almost like an arbiter, and I'm fine with the government being there for that. Someone who is looking out for the rights of the people and keeping an eye on the companies and making sure that they comply with the law. Getting rid of the departments that Ron Paul wants to get rid of, like the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Food and Drug Administration, that oversee different aspects of our daily lives, is foolhardy. I don't know about you, but I'd rather eat a sandwich or any other kind of food knowing that it has to comply with lots of different sets of guidelines regarding safety and things like contamination, rather than hand it off to a private contractor who's only concerned about making money. Of course, I'm speaking in an idealized manner here. Government doesn't really work like that, but it's a better idea than letting a bunch of people whose only concern is making money police themselves. Well, I'm sure that will work out just fine. Deregulation is a pass for businesses to engage in corrupt practices without worry that they will get caught. We've seen it with the banking system, and with Ron Paul as president, it would spread to other sectors as well. So, Ron Paul supporters, do you want to live in a country that bans abortion, ends federal aid, has unregulated food and drink, and a president that doesn't have a problem with establishing religion as a big part of government, and maybe even being allowed to ban atheists from public office? Does that sound like a good idea to you? But hey, at least you'll be allowed to smoke pot. I think you'll need it. That is not a country I would like to live in, and I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't too. So take a look at all his policies, okay? Think about what you're doing when you're lending your support to Ron Paul. These are the kind of things that he believes in, and these are the kind of things that he would set out to do if he was president. But hey, it's all out there. All you have to go and do is look. Cheerio, everyone.